Creamy lemon chicken pasta. If you're pressed for time and you need something impressive and restaurant quality on the dinner table, this recipe is for you. I'm gonna show you guys this 30-minute quick and easy pasta recipe that's packed with flavor and it has a beautiful presentation. Meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. Now, chicken breast is usually thought to be more on the boring side, but today we're gonna make it sexy. First things first, we gotta trim it up. We got some extra large chicken breasts here. They've been doing their bench press, I guess. We're gonna trim it up, get rid of any excess fat or any thing that's hanging off that's not gonna cook evenly. Just give it a nice trim, and then we're gonna butterfly them, basically cutting them in half. This is gonna make sure they cook a little bit more evenly and cook faster. So just lay your hand flat on top of the chicken breast and then use your knife to kind of make an incision here. And then we're just gonna cut through halfway of the, then we're just gonna cut through the middle of the chicken breast. Just protect yourself, obviously, just like boxing, protect yourself at all times. You're gonna have some excess pieces that you can trim off when you're done, but just kind of let it fold over, use the blade as a guide. And then once you get halfway through, you should be able to basically fold it over and cut it in half. You want them to be as even as possible, that way they cook about, evenly. You could also just pound them a little bit flatter. So basically the issue that you run into is this end of the chicken breast is real thick and then this part is real thin, right? So this part is gonna take longer to cook than this part. So by the time this part gets done, this part's gonna be dry as hell. So that's why we're butterflying it to give it a little bit more even of a cooking surface. Quick reminder, guys, you can find this recipe and all of my recipes at MrMakeItHappen.com. Now that we have the chicken breast perfectly butterflied, we're gonna go ahead and season it. Today, I'm using my AP seasoning and lemon bay. If you don't have those, you can get those from the website or just use your favorite all-purpose seasoning and a little lemon pepper and Old Bay. Basically give you the same flavor profile. We're making a creamy lemon chicken today, so we wanna have a little bit of lemon flavor. That's why I'm choosing the seasonings that I'm choosing. All right, people, next up, it's time to sear the chicken. We're gonna sear it in the skillet and then get it in the oven to finish. Depending on how much, how many servings you're making, this particular recipe is good for 4, maybe 5 servings, depending on the size of your chicken. We're gonna sear it in the skillet, get it into the oven, get it nice and hot, add some avocado oil, lay the protein away from you so you don't splatter the oil up on your arms. Make sure it's making good surface area contact with the skillet. I'm doing 2 pieces at a time. Gonna baste it in a little butter with rosemary and thyme just to impart a little bit more flavor into an otherwise relatively bland piece of meat. Chicken breasts are really lean. They don't have any fat to add much flavor. So you do need to season them properly. I like to add a little butter to mine just to add a little bit, more flavor there. We're gonna finish them in the oven at 400 degrees until the chicken hits 165 degrees internal temperature. Today's episode is sponsored by Merrifield. Eating healthy can get pretty expensive. That's why I started using this app called Merrifield. And honestly, it's kind of a cheat code for saving money on the healthy brands you're already gonna buy. And here's how it works. Merrifield is 100% free and it rewards you every time you shop for better for you products. Just scan your receipt or connect your online accounts like Instacart or Whole Foods, and the app automatically gives you points for eligible purchases. And this is my favorite part. The rewards are actually super useful. You can redeem your points for gift cards to places like Starbucks, Amazon, Target, Sephora, basically everywhere you already shop. It even gives you points for all produce and all eggs, which is a game changer if you're buying fresh ingredients all the time like me. Brands you probably already buy are on here too. Applegate, Amy's, Bragg. The list is super long. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and download that app today. Again, it's 100% free. I use it all the time and I absolutely love it. I think you will too. That's Merrifield. Download the app today. All right, guys, so for the purposes of saving the flavor, we're gonna go ahead and dump the excess butter over our chicken breast and then put that in the oven to finish cooking, saving all of that fondant flavor in our skillet, and we're gonna use that same skillet to make our sauce. One of the best things about this recipe, other than the fact that it comes together fast, is there's very few ingredients, pretty inexpensive, really good, delicious, quick and easy meal. As far as the produce goes, we only got an onion, garlic, and lemon. The lemon we're gonna char and use that as presentation, and then use a little bit of the juice and zest for our sauce. We'll go ahead and dice up this onion nice and fine. You can use shallot as well here. You can even throw in some capers in this recipe if you really want to add a little bit more acidity to the sauce. It's already pretty acidic, so it's not necessary, but if you really want to lean into that flavor profile, you can add some capers to the party. If you want to elevate this also, you can add roasted garlic instead of fresh minced garlic. That's going to add some time to your cooking because roasted garlic could take a good 40 minutes or so. So we're going to dice this onion, mince up that garlic, prep our lemon, and then get started on our sauce. All right, next up is time to get started on the sauce. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of oil back to the skillet. Fresh oil is important. Had a lot of butter in there. Butter has a lower smoke point. We don't want any of the oil or fat to burn. So fresh oil, the butter's on the chicken doing its job. I'm gonna start to kind of scrape some of this fondant flavor off the edges here. And we'll get the rest of that up with some dry white wine. In the meantime, time to go in with 1 diced onion. And then after that, we'll add our garlic, some lemon zest, red pepper flakes. Then we'll add that white wine we talked about. You can save a little pasta water if you want to thin this out or if you need to thin it out. That's a much better choice than like chicken broth or adding too much cream. The pasta water has some starch. It's gonna help that consistency of your sauce. As you can see, a lot of that flavor, you can see the color of the onions. I didn't add any seasoning to this pot. The seasoning's already in there. You can see that by the color of the onions. So we're gonna sweat these down, give them about a 2-minute head start, and then add in our garlic. All right, so once we add in the wine, we're increase the heat to high, cook off that alcohol. At that point, we're gonna reduce the heat to low, add in our butter. You wanna do it over low heat because you don't want the oil in the butter or the fat in the butter to separate. So we got that all mixed in. Now it's time to add in our cream. We got all the flavor in there. We got the red pepper flakes. We got the lemon juice, lemon zest, chicken bouillon, AP seasoning, all the good stuff, right? And then we're gonna add in our cream a little bit at a time. Whisk that in. Taste as you go, adjust the flavor to your preference as always. And then at the very end, we're gonna finish it with that Parmesan cheese. Quick reminder, guys, that you can find this recipe and all of my recipes at MrMakeItHappen.com. All right, guys, one pro tip that's very important when you're making pasta, you wanna cook the pasta in the sauce. That pasta is gonna absorb that flavor from the sauce if you cook it in the sauce. So very important pro tip. It's gonna help you with a much more flavorful end product. Gives you a good opportunity to give it a good mix and just really let that, pasta absorb that flavorful sauce that we made. I'm gonna add a little bit more Parmesan cheese to finish this, a little parsley, maybe some lemon zest. You can add a little additional red pepper flakes if you want it to be a little spicier. Another important pro tip is to allow your chicken to rest before you slice it. You want it to be nice and juicy. If you slice it too soon, you'll lose a lot of that moisture. We're gonna plate this up with a charred lemon, a little freshly grated Parmesan cheese, some parsley, and have yourselves a delicious dinner in less than 30 minutes. And there you have it, people, a delicious creamy lemon chicken pasta in less than 30 minutes. Super inexpensive, big on flavor. We're gonna plate this up with a charred lemon because why the hell not? We're here for a good time, not a long time. Brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys, looking good. The only thing left to do is dig in for the taste test. But before we do that, please take a quick second to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell to enable notifications as well. All right, guys, I'm about to dig in. I got my fork. This looks and smells amazing. I think I'm gonna go chicken first, then pasta. Another pro tip right there. What I like about the rigatoni is that sauce just sits inside the pasta noodle. Can't go wrong with that. But use whatever, pasta shape you got in the house. That's so good. It's like a brighter, sexier Alfredo. The acid makes it feel like it's not as unhealthy, but pretty much is. Enjoy.